Hey guys, Stevie from Stiegel Saber Installs again. Just doing another video reveal for you guys. The one I just finished up is one of my personal favourite sabers, well, characters anyway, and it is mind-blowing. It's like a childhood fantasy come true, and this thing is gnarly as fuck. It's Korbanth MPP 2.0 Darth Vader replica saber. This thing is fucking awesome, guys. Like, it is so heavy, so solid, and I can't recommend it enough from Randy. It's awesome. It's so heavy, it's solid, and it's a nice build all around. There's a couple of issues with it, but they're easily sorted. Well, soon will be. When it arrived, it just had a few chips here and there in the emitter that I've had to touch up with some acrylic paint just to blend it in a bit better. Enamel wasn't going to cut it. And a few just dents and divots in the clamp section. I've got two of these in my possession and both of them have had that same issue. So I guess it's just manufacturing or China's handling of it. So yeah, this is a customer's build. This is not my personal one. He's got it configured for Empire Strikes Back, longer T-grips, and the orientation of the clamp. There's no kits available yet, but in saying that, KR Sabers, or Saber Armory, Cal's doing a conversion kit for this where you can make it more accurate. These should be black and it should not have a lever. If you want to go into more depth and make it more accurate, you can replace these hex head or torque head screws with some flat heads. There should be flat head screws in there. Don't know what else really that needs modding. I'm not 100% familiar with the 2.0 or the MPP build. So yeah, I think that's all the mods really that I'd be happy with anyway. So I took a note out of Shamim's video because he was one of the first to do this, or was the first to do the MP2. And I put the blade retention in that hole right there. So I just had to drill and tap that. Just use a Saber Forge standard screw, whatever size they are in Imperial land, because I have no fucking idea. Language. The blade plug I'm using is a KR's MPP 2.0 blade plug. It needs to be shortened. I still need to cut that back, but this is my blade plug, not the customer's, and I'll do that when I finish. It'll be the finishing touch on mine. So yeah, so got to do that. Another issue from factory, and it's just a little bit of a mishap, is the clamp does not hold the bubble strip. No matter how tight you do this, it will fall out. And Shamim covered that in his video too. I'm sure he ended up getting it to fit somehow. I've got a way that I'm going to make it fit. It's not flash, but you can't over tighten this clamp too much, otherwise it makes it impossible to unscrew the bottom half and access SD card and whatnot. If I went the same route as Shamim, he done I think it was a custom Saber shop PVC chassis that he could access through the pommel. This one you can't. I have run, because there's no chassis for this yet, they're still being worked on by Rick from G.O.T.H. I used a Graflex 2.0 Padawan chassis, so that is all-in-one. It holds the battery, speaker, and soundboard, and it also is held in with a retention screw in here. The switch is here. This comes off, and the switch mount in there comes out. Beneath that is a grooved tracking that runs down there for the wires to pass through. So that's nice and flat. So I drilled and tapped a hole in there, which is holding the chassis all together, or the chassis in place, not together, and stopping it moving, there's no movement there. So that's pretty good. There's still enough room there too for the wires to pass through to reach the soundboard. So no issues there at all. So yeah, I'll open her up after I fire it up, and I'll show you the chassis and the housing and my work inside. But for now, let's fire this sucker up because it's epic. So yeah, I'm running a Tri-cree red for maximum brightness, requested by the customer. Didn't want to flash on clash color. Just turn this off. Nano Biscotte V3 as usual. That's the activation switch. 2-watt bass speaker, housed in the G.O.T.H 3D printed chassis, and it's got an 18650 protected cell with a recharge port in the chassis too. So yeah, all round this is a great saber, and I'd highly recommend someone snap a couple up before they're completely gone, because you never know if he's ever going to do another run ever again. So in saying that, Romans are doing a 1:1 scale replica of the MPP 2 flash, oh not 2, just MPP flash, and it's going to be a fully functional flash unit. So for you that don't know, this is a camera flash unit, just like the Graflex is also a camera flash unit, used in the original trilogy. So this thing has a long ass thread for the two body parts. So Shamin was able to access it through here because he had not a fixed chassis. I fixed the chassis so there's no movement at all. And that's the chassis there. You can see the wires passing through for the battery to the charge port, which is there. There's a 2-watt bass speaker. That was a little loose for my liking, so I had to dab some glue just on the inside of the chassis and then slip fitted it in. Held it in place for 5 minutes and it held. I just used E9000 electrical glue. So yeah, it holds into place nicely. There's the soundboard, SD card. That's pretty much what you can see. You see the battery in behind here. Yeah, I guess that's it. Don't need to see much else. I'll open up the pommel too so you can see how much room you have, because this is the Graflex. The Graflex is almost the length of just that. So you can see that if that was sitting inside the Graflex, it'd be right near the end of the pommel. Now, this handle is a lot longer than that handle. So that finishes about there, and you can see that there's a fair bit of room there still of space. So the sound is great still, but it's not as loud as if it would be sitting inside here. Probably wouldn't be much louder, to be honest, but yeah, it's no different to having a Graflex 2.0 crystal chamber. That speaker's sitting up here. It's louder than that still, so there's not a huge issue. Just one of those things we had to deal with them not having a chassis ready for this. I've just made an executive decision to use this chassis, and it worked fine. So yeah, that's held in. I'll swap the phone over, and we'll fire this up with a blade. So yeah, the blade socket on this, I think originally he was going to do the option of 1 inch or 7/8. I think it was going to be interchangeable. But Randy ended up just running the 7/8. So 3mm 7/8 blade. I think it's a 32 inch or 34 inch from Shady Canuck in Canada. I run this on all my demos. I have a 32 inch as well. It might be even smaller, might be 30 or a 27 or something, but I want to do a video comparison of the two reds, because this is running just standard red, whereas I've got a Dooku that's running deep red, and I just want to show you guys the difference in the colors. It's not going to be a fair comparison, because one's going to be 3 dyes of the same color running. The other one's only going to be 2, so it's not going to be as bright, but we're not trying to compare brightness. I'm just going to compare color. I'll do brightness when I have a deep red in. I'll be able to do a comparison then, but it's just to show you the guys the difference in color, so you can have so you can make your mind up of what you want for your saber if you're building it, or if you're having me or another sabersmith build it, you know which color to go for. You can have a combination of 3. You can have deep red, say you're doing 3 dyes all the same, deep red, deep red, deep red, or you can do deep red, red, or a deep red, 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 or you can have red, red, red. So there's 4 combinations actually. Dumb. But anyways, yeah, my favorite so far is deep red, and then a flash on clash color, which I have amber to represent the dark side. I do amber on all my dark side and white on all my light sides. So that's just my personal touch to what I like to do for mine. I'm not a big fan of RGB setups, because I think that a saber should only be one color. In saying that, I'll probably still end up having one because I'm a hypocrite. I'm not sure which saber yet, but yeah, enough talking because I don't know how to shut up. Let's fire this up. So this run a light meat font now. This blade is awesome. Like this thing. I love it. It's Darth Vader, like, yeah. So yeah, highly recommend that you get one where you can, because they're quite cheap. I think I paid $190 USD plus postage. Don't quote me on that. It might have been $210. I can't remember which one was dearer, the DV6 or the MP2. I'll do a quick comparison of size between the two Darth Vader sabers. So yeah, with this one, you can either make it an ESB, Empire Strikes Back, with the longer T-grips, or you can do a New Hope with the shorter. I've got mine here for you guys to see the difference. Shorter grips for a New Hope, Empire Strikes Back. Not much difference besides that, except for the clamp card section. The clamp section is slightly different too. So there's that one. And then for Return of the Jedi, it's not officially... There's huge debate to whether or not this is actually the saber to be dubbed the Darth Vader hilt for Return of the Jedi. A lot of people said it's just this. You can clearly see in the movie this one is being used. Yes, it's a Graflex, it's been modded for the stunts only, but you see it in the movie and you see it in most of the scenes besides like 1 or 2 scenes where this is clipped on his belt. And this is my all-time favourite hilt, so you can all show it up your ass because this is Darth Vader's Return of the Jedi saber. So this is going to be the next one that I build. This is mine, but I've also got one for a customer to do. I'll try and do it at the same time, see how I go with time. But this thing is beautiful. I love it. It's mint. So yeah, this one is the Return of the Jedi. So you can see the size difference. Shorter because it's a Graflex base, not a MPP flash. But yeah, it's awesome. So yeah, sorry for rambling on too long, guys. Time gets the better of me sometimes. So yeah, sorry about that. If you like what you're seeing, hit subscribe if you already haven't. Share the video around if you want, and also hit like. Comment if you got any questions regarding the build, if you're tackling it, or if you are going to get a commission from me or another sabersmith. Happy to answer anything that I can. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys and girls. Thanks.